Hi there guys, Bowlington here, and today I am bringing you something that is a little bit out of character for me, but I had this idea and I decided that I really wanted to do it. So what you're seeing here is you are seeing Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls 5, and my vampire girlfriend Serana is just materialized out of nowhere. And what we're going to be doing in this series, it's going to be a shorter series. I think it should have around 10 or 11 episodes, not including this video, which is the introduction to the series. What we're going to be doing in this series is we're going to be accomplishing a few specific goals, because some of you may or may not know that I am currently going for the Platinum Trophy for Skyrim. It will be the first Platinum Trophy that I've gotten on PlayStation 3. When I had a 360, I had whatever the equivalent of a Platinum Trophy is for that. When I had that, I don't remember what game it was, but I knew I had one. Actually, it might have been Condemned Criminal Origins. But no matter. What we're going to do in this series is we are going to be very, very evil. We are going to be committing horrible crimes and just unthinkable mayhem and chaos. And the reason is because I need 3 achievements or 3 trophies that I would not have gotten, I would not get otherwise unless I was going to play it this way. The 3 trophies are that I have to pick 50 pockets, I have to have a bounty of 1,000 gold in all 9 holds, and I also have to escape from jail. So during the course of this series, I'm going to attempt to accomplish all of these goals so that I can make myself closer to getting the Platinum Trophy. So let me take a second here to introduce you to our, I guess since we're going to be evil, he is the antagonist to Skyrim. This is Elysir, and he is named after his homeland of Elsweyr, and he is a Khajiit. He is currently wearing a set of armor that is part of the Dragonborn DLC. So be warned during this series. There are possibly going to be spoilers as far as if you look at my quest log, if I briefly glance at that, you might see spoilers on there. The armor is a little bit of a spoiler from the Dragonborn DLC. Go away, Serana. You're messing my shot up. And she is obviously a spoiler from Dawnguard. So spoilers might be throughout, but this series is mainly not going to be focused on quest or storylines or anything like that. It's going to just, we're going to go from city to city and rack up 1,000 gold bounty or more, depending on how crazy we go, and we are going to satisfy the achievements for being extremely evil. So basically what we're going to do is the first episode where we actually start doing stuff will be the next video after this. This series is going to be scheduled on Fridays. I'm going to have it uploaded on every Friday for the course of the series. And that gives me a week to film and edit and make everything awesome, because I want this to be a really high quality series as far as I can get it. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to start in Whiterun here. And we are going to just, we're going to go house to house, and we're just going to kind of freestyle it and see exactly what kind of trouble we can get into. So I'm thinking that we might hit the blacksmith and then just go from house to house, and we're going to pickpocket any sleeping people that we can. I am a vampire, so we're going to be feeding on people. We're going to take every single thing of value that we can find in the city and rack up as much bounty as possible. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun because my character is super powerful. And I will show you some of his stats and whatnot right after the intrusive PlayStation autosave, which kind of slows things down, but there we go, it's all done. I do have a level. We are starting off on level 41 after let's see, what do we want? Let's go ahead and get a health. But we are on level 41, and my character is a stealth, ranged, one-handed type character. So as we go over to the stuff that I have, I've got a fairly high speech. My pickpocket is fairly low, so this is probably going to be a place where I get myself into trouble, is picking people's pockets and having them catch me. but I have to successfully pick 50 pockets, so that's gonna be kind of a challenge. My lock picking is at level 80, and I also have the skeleton key in my possession, so we don't have to worry about lock picks. My sneak is level 100, and I have every single perk all the way through except for the one about daggers, because I don't actually use daggers. And I also have this one, the Shadow Warrior, so if I'm in combat, if I crouch, it causes faraway opponents to search for a different enemy, and it kind of pulls me out of battle, so it's a pretty cool little feature. My character is based in light armor, so I've got 78 light armor right here, and I think the armor that I'm wearing, I'll show that to you in a second. I believe it's heavy armor actually, but it has some really nice bonuses, so I didn't really care. My main form of attack, I guess, and it kind of alternates back and forth, but I'm more prone to using archery, is, well, the archery skill. So it's level 86. I have a very incredible glass bow that I use, and I have a crossbow as well, and I will show you those in a second. My other attack skill is my one-handed, which is 74, and I have two very nice weapons that I use for that as well. So that's pretty much, those are pretty much the main key points when we're looking at my skills. The other thing that you'll notice is I have extremely high smithing, and that is pretty much essential if you want to have the best gear. So we can go ahead and go into my inventory now, and I can show you some of the stuff that we'll be using on our cross-Skyrim crime spree. First thing I want to show you all off is the crossbow. This is added by the Dawn Guard, and I've crafted it up to legendary level, so it now does 93 damage per hit, and most things, this is a one-hit kill if I hit them with it. It's pretty good, and I'm liking it more and more just based on how it fires compared to a normal bow, and we expect to see some action from this guy. This guy is pretty awesome. So moving down the list, we have a Daedric sword, which is crafted up to the exquisite level. It does 51 damage, and it is accompanied by the Skyforged steel sword, which is up to the legendary. It does 63 damage. So when I'm in one-handed, I hold the Daedric sword in my left hand, the Skyforged steel in my right, and pretty much just destroy stuff. That's gonna be making an appearance at some point as well, so you guys will get to see that in action. This is my legendary glass bow. This is the bow that I've been using since about level 20. I pretty much did this, I've had this bow since I could craft glass stuff, and it's up to legendary. It's just like the crossbow. A lot of times with weaker enemies, it's a one-hit kill, and it also has a frost enchantment. It's not really a crazy frost enchantment because my enchanting isn't that great, but it adds a little bit of extra punch to each hit. So that is the other ranged weapon that I use. So let's move on to our armor, and then we will pretty much wrap this video up, because this video is just a setup for the series. We weren't actually going to go pillaging just yet because I have some places that I want to scout out beforehand. So here we go. This is a set of boots from the Dawn Guard, or no, I'm sorry, it's from the Dragonborn DLC, and they are very special in the fact that they allow water walking. That is correct. There is water walking in Skyrim now, and if you were having the glitch, actually it was a pretty game-breaking bug that if you went underneath water, if your camera went underwater, your PlayStation would hard freeze. If anyone else has had that issue, these will fix it. So that alone makes the Dragonborn DLC worth getting. And they just running around with these makes it so, they're just so handy, and I have to disenchant them some point to make them into a set of light armor boots because they're heavy armor. So yeah. Moving on, we have two other, this is a cuirass and a set of gloves that I've crafted up to flawless. They come, I believe they're part of the Dragonborn DLC, but they are just, they're some nice light armor, and we will be sporting that every now and then. But the main centerpiece is this. This is the Deathbrand armor, and the Deathbrand armor is something that you get from completing a treasure hunt So they give you a treasure map on the Dragonborn DLC, and you have to go around to different parts of the island and find the armor. And this is what you're rewarded with. You're rewarded with this awesome Stalrim cuirass, and it is light armor, which is good. I was concerned that it was heavy armor, but it is light armor now that I'm seeing it. So yeah, it does. The armor is very nice. I've got a set of boots, and if you're looking at the enchantments, it increases your stamina by 15 for each item that you wear. So I have, I've actually only got 3 pieces on, so that's 15 for each one of these. And then the boots give you increased carrying capacity by 10 for each item that you wear, so that's an extra 30 to my carrying capacity. And my gauntlets are, when dual wielding, one-handed attacks do 10% more damage for each item of Deathbrand that you wear. So basically each one of these has a unique enchantment, and then it's boosted by 10 or 15 by every single piece that you wear. So that's a very nice set of armor. So if you're looking for a good set of armor and you have Dragonborn, go find the Deathbrand armor. It's pretty awesome. So moving right along, I also have the Shrouded Cowl, which is part of the armor that you get for the Dark Brotherhood, and I have it crafted up to flawless. It makes my bows do more damage, and quite honestly, when combined with the Deathbrand armor, it looks really badass. My old character on Skyrim actually had a... I would wear a Shrouded Cowl with the Mordecai Dragon Priest mask, and he looked pretty awesome. But he's not... This character doesn't suit him, so he won't be wearing it. This is what we're going to be rocking, and I will go ahead and show you my swords. This is my one-handed setup with the Daedric in the left and my Skyforge in the right. And I also have a very nice little upgrade to my Unrelenting Force. I'm not going to show it off at this moment because it's pretty dangerous. And what it is part of the Dragonborn DLC adds a buff that you can get to your Unrelenting Force shout, which adds a disintegration effect. So, for instance, say I came across an elk or a deer out in the wilds of Skyrim, or even a saber cat. It can kill saber hats. What happens when I hit an animal, it will get blown back just like it normally would with Unrelenting Force, but it has a chance to turn into ash. So when I'm fighting, say a saber cat was coming up to me, I'd Unrelenting Force him, he'd fly back and then just turn into a pile of ash. So the Unrelenting Force is very powerful. I'm going to be showing it off during this series quite a bit, because it has seriously become one of my favorite shouts, if not my favorite. Next to, I would say, Dragon Rend is probably the most useful besides Unrelenting Force. And I also have a little buddy, courtesy of the Dragonborn DLC.
Oh, look. My new
And what he is a Dremora Butler, that he has a carrying capacity of roughly 400, so if I get overloaded with extra items, I can give them to him and he will carry them, and he's basically like a summonable chest. And I'm going to clear him out. His inventory is completely full at the moment, but I'm going to clear his inventory out, and once I do, when we start the series, when we start pillaging and collecting all of these incredible items, we're going to give him the best ones. So at the very end of the series, we'll be able to look back and see all of the incredible things that we've heisted from the various places in Skyrim. So I think this is going to be a very, very, very fun series. I am really into Skyrim at the moment, and I hope that you guys will be able to enjoy these videos. Because it's typically not my thing. Normally it's Minecraft, but since I started my channel, I said I would post Skyrim at some point, so this is the best way that I've thought that I can do it. And the way that I have it set up so I can record, I believe it will allow me to get really good audio quality for my voice, as well as not having any background stuff from the game itself. And because I'm listening to it through my speakers, not through headset, and in the past I've gotten noise pollution, but I think this will overcome it, which will be very good. And the other thing that the other reason that I'm doing this series is because I've started learning how to use Adobe Premiere Pro, which is basically Adobe's answer to Apple's Final Cut Pro. And my copy of Final Cut Pro has been bugged for probably over a year now, where if I put a video together in it and I render it out, the audio at the end has slight it's got noise in it, so it's got little, and it's so quiet that you almost can't notice it, but over time it becomes apparent and it's really obnoxious. So Premiere Pro, I have the professional Adobe Suite version of Premiere Pro, and I'm learning that Premiere Pro is hands and shoulders way better than Final Cut Pro, at least the new version of Final Cut Pro, because the original one was much better in my opinion. But I'm doing that in I'm doing this series in Premiere Pro, which is going to allow me to do a lot more things that I haven't been able to do in the past, and I'm hoping that it makes the quality and the editing much higher quality. So that is going to be, this is going to be in Premiere Pro, and I'm going to be using a lot of Adobe workflows, and hopefully it's going to make it awesome. But that's pretty much where I want to wrap this little introduction to the series off. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments below, and this is going to be one wild ride.